You're listening to Trance Report with Dwanna, a bi-weekly podcast featuring spiritual science, paranormal, and UFO news. I'm your host, John Kelly. Dwanna, welcome back. It's great to speak with you again.
Thank you, John. It's so good to be back on your program once more.
Dwanna, what's been happening in the phenomena circles that you've been producing for the last several weeks?
Well, with all the hours we've been sitting, which to this point I think we're up to about 150 hours, the energy has become stronger. The phenomenon itself is growing stronger. We have lights now in the videos that are more prominent, brighter, and they slowed down a bit. Before there were just flashes of light. Now they're slowing down and making all sorts of turns in the middle of the room. Visually we're seeing them, but they don't stay there long. In other words, they're just a flash and they're gone, or just a pinpoint of light and they're gone. But on the camera, they seem to occur and stay longer in one position.
They're more persistent on camera. I think that's very interesting. What might that indicate?
Well, that the energy with spirit phenomena is actually escalating, getting stronger, and hopefully that's part of growing stronger and becoming solid material, such as an apportation or materialization of a spirit form.
In your previous work, have you seen lights that preceded apports? Is that typically how the continuity? It starts as light phenomena and then goes to solid apport phenomena?
Well, I've seen both. I have seen the light together with the apportation, and I've had apportation without the lights as well. So both have occurred. And apportation is like teleportation. It's bringing an item from one destination into another destination, which is usually wherever they can find an item that has meaning. They bring it into the room and materialize it. And
you've mentioned before that the apports bear symbolic meaning. They aren't just physical objects, but they have significance to people in the room in a symbolic way.
Yes, they're symbolic. And sometimes they're coins, but the coins that I've received in the past have actually been on my birth year. And I won't say what year that was, but on my birth year. But they were Liberty, silver, $50.
And in terms of the persistence of the apports, are these objects as real as conventional objects? Do they persist year after year, or do they return to where they came from? What happens to them?
Oh, they persist. They don't disappear. Once they have materialized the object, and I don't know what the formula is for them to materialize an object in the room, but the material stays with you. It doesn't disappear.
Now, you also initiated an investigation into a haunting in the Dallas area, and this isn't the first time you've investigated these kinds of cases before.
Well, I started investigating cases in 1984, and then one of my most famous cases of investigation was Catfish Plantation in Waxahachie, Texas. And it just sort of found its own way through Dallas, Fort Worth, and all over the United States, where I was involved in checking out hauntings and investigating them and holding a seance to see what this is all about. And so the haunting or the investigation we held on Saturday night was very interesting. The owner of the house said that she was hearing voices and music and seeing shadows, and her mother also stays in one of the bedrooms, and her mother is too afraid to stay in the bedroom. She said she hears music and sounds all night long and footsteps, so they wanted that to go away. We did investigate it and found that there was some EVP, and we had some anomalies of, sounds in the house, and we were using a meter to read the energy, and the meters went off. During our investigation, we went to a very high reading. I'm not the electrician in the group, so we do have an electrical engineer who can do those readings.
All right, so this is just some of your preliminary observations, and you'll be releasing more information about the investigation as time goes on, and you and your team have had a better chance to evaluate all the materials that you collected.
Yes, and the owner is on vacation, so as she's on vacation, we're kind of waiting to see if we might have help the energy to even escalate. Oftentimes in investigations, once you open that energy, it becomes stronger for a while. Mm-hmm. And then you go back and you go back to the investigation and you work with that again. And sometimes that releases all the energy.
Well, sounds very interesting. You're listening to Trance Report with Dwanna Paul, a bi-weekly podcast featuring spiritual science, paranormal, and UFO news. For more information from Dwanna Paul, visit her website, dwannapaul.com, and you can visit trancereport.com to listen to all the previous episodes as well. I'm your host, John Kelly, and we'll be back again in 2 weeks.